if you observe in STATA, there is a string variable. You check that data I just uploaded. Now you see that the students column there, student column there is in red. Student 1, student 2, student 3 is in red. That is because the STATA see that part as string variable. String variable is is a variable in form of word, not number. Variable in form of word, not number. So any number, any variable that is in word is a string variable, and the ones in number, numerical form, is numerical variable. So if you see those numbers, you see that the first column is red, which is STATA saw that particular column as a string, where you have student 1, student 2, student 3, because those ones are in word, while the other ones are black because they are in numeric. So we have string and numeric, and each of the variables can be done, but each variable can be one of three storage type. Now we have different storage type in STATA. We have different storage type. Now we have integer, we have long, we have floats. So here, when you have an ordinary number like 5 or 7 or 2, ordinary number is known as integer. So any number you put in STATA can be numeric integer. Of course, numeric are numbers. It can be an integer. Then it can also be long. Long are numbers that are, as in you have long numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can be a long. Now we also have floats, which is fraction. When you have 0.5 or 0.7, is regarded as floats. Floats are fractions. If I do 1 divided by 3, I'm going to have 0.333. So those kind of data are known as floats. So a STATA is going to see them as floats in as you put the data in STATA. So you'll be seeing integer and float most of the time because our data is either a number or sometimes fraction. So that fraction there is a float. The string, for the string variable, we normally have string 1, string 2 till string 44, about string 244. That's how it will label the string variable. Now, we have what we call the variable name and their label, and also the format on which you are coding it. The name of the variable is just the name. The name of the variable is just the name you have maybe put it in SPL in Excel before you upload it. Then the label is what? The label is what the variable is known for. If I go back to this, you will see it. Maybe I will explain all these ones later. I told you when we did SPSS, I told you that label is mainly a better a better description of what the name is. A better description of what the name is. So you can, and in STATA here, we're going to be using label a lot, as we see in the next slides. So you can actually rename all these ones. Are just, these are commands that you can use to rename your, you can use this command now to rename your variable from Y to X. If my variable name is Y, I can say rename Y S. That variable will now change, the name of that variable will now change to S. So we are going to be seeing coding most of the time. These are known as STATA Commands. So you can also define the label and the variable label. The label of the variable can be defined using label variable X exam score. If I want to label this variable now, let's assume this variable's name is S. I want the label to become a exam score. I'm going to use this command to do it. So when we get to STATA, see how it works. Okay, here we also have the data format, the format of a numeric number with 2 decimal places. So we can format S as percentage 7.2G. This one here indicates that the number has a 2 decimal place. That is what this X percentage 7.2G means. When we get to start, I will show you. Now we can also indicate missing variable the way we did in SPSS. Missing values in a numeric variable is expressed as a period. Now in STATA, for you to declare a data as a variable as missing, you use dots in that place where the data is supposed to be typed. Missing values are not.
Sorry, sir. Clarification before we proceed, please.
Eh?
I need a clarification before we move on, please.
Okay, oh yeah, go ahead.
One of the codes here written is to format a numeric variable.
Yes.
You've taken away the slide.
Yeah.
So are we now saying that to format data in 2 decimal places, assuming the data is X, what we need to do is X percentage 7.2, or so which of these numbers now are we formatting to 2 decimal places?
Yes, I said the format of a numeric variable can be set for to numeric with 2 decimal places using, this is a command here. This is a command. If you want to format a variable to become a numeric variable, general numeric with 2 decimal places, you use this command here. Let's assume that the variable is x percentage 7 points. Then you use this 2 gram here means 2 decimal places. So that's how you format it. When we get to
so why the choice of 7?
And that's how
is it. Sorry, sir. If I'm getting it right, the real code there is percentage 7.2G. Why the number we want to format now is X. So assuming X is say 1000, and I may have another value for X as 700.
Just hold on. Let's when we get to this when we get to the software, you see how we do it. When we go over to STATA, we are going to type all these commands so that you see how I'm just giving you a preview. So even this missing variable here now, we have that this dot here. You see dot here that is what STATA is used to represent a missing variable. But before you upload your variable into the STATA, if you have any missing variable, you must have put those here. Now you can use 99 as missing variable here. So the cell before uploading to the software. So when you reach this software now, you now run this code, mv decode x, comma mv into 99. It will convert everywhere you have 99 into dots. It will convert this into dots. So that's how you can convert a missing number convert the placeholder that you use as missing number into dots, of which the STATA will now recognize it as the missing number. So you can also deploy this for all your this mv decode x into this. So you run this command and you see that you are all the placeholders. Let's assume you use 999 as your placeholder for missing variable. So you are going to now convert everywhere you have all the missing variables will now be converted to dots, dots, dots. Okay, so this is our how to define value label. How you are going to define your value label. What it means is that how do you convert those code now into one for male and 2 for female. So that is what we are going to define your value label. That is what we call value label. How to define it, that you are going to convert that one that you use to represent male and tell STATA that 1 is male and 2 is female. So the general representation here is that you are going to write this code here. Label define. Let's assume you are using a group now as what you want to use to represent what you are defining. I'm defining group here now, GRP. And I'm going to tell you that 1 is group 1. That means I'm using 1 to represent group 1. I'm using 2 to represent group 2 and 3 to represent group 3. So after defining this, I will now come and attach this value that I've defined here, this one can be any, you can use any abbreviation here that looks like what you are defining. So you run the next command, label value. This is your category. You mention the name of your categorical variable, and now attach this group you have defined to that categorical variable, so that categorical variable will now take on this group in there that you have defined. Now, let me take you to STATA before I come back here, because I don't have my examples here are different from what I have in the software. So here, but look at this now. Let me give you this one. Coding a questionnaire involving a categorical variable with 3 groups. Example: which church do you attend? A, Dominion City, DC, Salvation Ministry, SM, and Winners Chapel, WC. Now, this is a categorical variable, church, right? If I'm representing this now, my variable is going to be church, isn't it? With 3 groups, DC, SM, and the WC, is it not? Okay, you are silent. So let's assume that we have, which church do you attend?
I'm listening to you.
Our 3 options. So here now, our variable is going to be church, is it not? With church with 3 groups, DC, SM, and WC. These are the 3 groups in our church variable, right? I'm not sure we are here. Okay, so let me just continue. So we have to define this.
Well, we are listening to you.
Okay, to define this, the label for this question now, what we are going to do is that we are going to have to define the variable. We are going to do label define. Now, I'm going to use church group now because that's what I choose. I just use, you are defining a label that you are going to attach to the church. So I have defined label define church group. This one now, you can use anything you like. Then you now define the 3 groups, 1 for DC, 2 for SM, and 3 for WC. After defining these categories that you have named church group, you now come and attach it to the church. That is how church now will now have these 3 groups as their grouping. So STATA will now see these 3 groups that you have defined here as, and you now attach it to your church. So that is how church will now begin to have those 3 groups now attached to it. So this is how you define it. Label define church group. You now define the church grouping. Then after defining it, you now attach it to your church, your group, which is church. That's why you have label values. Then church, you now attach these values you have defined. This value now is this name here is bearing that you have defined these values, and you now attach it to your variable church. That is how you now have a variable church with 3 groups attached to it. So that is when all the numbers that are 1 will now become this. All the numbers that are 2 will become SM, and so on. So that's the formula, and we go to. Okay, look at the male and female. What is your gender? Male, a female. So to create a label GD, I just use this a GD now. You can use anything you like. The GD here is gender with values 1 for M and 2 for this, and associate it to the variable gender. So you create a label GD that has values this, then associate it to your gender variable. That's the meaning of what we are doing. So you create a label GD. You can use anything you like here that sounds familiar. Then when you create a label, the label is going to have these values. Then you now associate the label to your variable gender using the command. So that is what it means, which is label value GD. You now say 1 for male and 2 for female. Then you now associate that label you have created that has these values. You now use the next command. You now say label values gender, then GD. You now associate this label to your variable gender. So that's how gender will now be known as this and this. So that's what we are going to do now. So let me take you to STATA so that you see how we are going to.
Please, before you take off there, can one ask question?
You say what?
Hello?
What did you say now?
Right. Yes. So I just want to be sure it's what I'm thinking. So this is the format of programming for STATA. Label define and then label values.
Yes.
So what we are trying to achieve in label define gender, assuming we just chose to use GD as our gender.
Yes.
And on the software will be recognizing GD as our gender, as we nicknamed it.
Yes, as you nickname it. Anything you can use here. I mean, you can use anything here to represent your values. Create a label. You can use anything you like. Continue. Let me know what you understand.
Yes, like now if we are to go by way of routine English now, we can say define label. But here now it takes the shape of label define.
Yes.
So is this the format that STATA recognizes?
Yes.
Okay, now if we go to the second line now, we are not saying label define gender now. We are saying label value gender.
Yes, label values gender. So, then you now associate that label you have created before and now associate it to gender. Your variable.
No, you see my concern here where I'm getting confused now. We first define gender as a 1 for male, 2 for female. Then, what value now are we associating or attaching to it again?
You know, see, when you define this one here, this is the one you define, label define, you define this one, Abi?
Yes.
Then you now say that for this one now,
1 for male.
The values here, the value of that label is 1 for male and 2 for female. That is the value of this your label here now.
But that is exactly what we did at the SPSS.
I can't hear. Am I the only one?
Yes, that's exactly what we did in SPSS. So all you need
is
you define this thing here, your label, and tell us their values. The same thing we did in SPSS value now, under value. So the values are 1 for male and 2 for female. So you now come here and attach it to the gender so that it will now know that these are the values under this guy.
I can't hear. Are you talking, sir?
Okay, so we have we have our data editor here. Can you see my screen? So we have our data editor here. Okay, I have my data editor here. So I'm going to convert this guy now to as in add a value here to categorical variable so that STATA will know that this is a categorical variable, right? So I'm going to type label define GD here. Please, are you seeing it? Are you seeing the screen?
I'm not seeing it though.
Huh?
Your mouse was not moving. Okay.
Label define GD. Then I'll say GL1 is male. Can you see me? Then 2 is female. So see what I just typed here. Label define GD, 1 for male and 2 for female. Then the next thing I'll do is label values. Label values. So we have, okay, the next one now is a label define the other one, what will I use now? This level of study. So let me use level. Label define level. Then I will now say 1 for year 1, 2 for year 2, 3 for year 3, 4 for year 4. So you see here now, I use level here now. So you can use anything you like that will represent the variable. Since my variable name is level of study, LOS. So I will label define level. I will not define the level, the value for the level.
Bro, William, you have not seen the WhatsApp call I made. I want to talk to all of us at the same time. So you join the WhatsApp call.
You also have, then you run the second command.
Brother, you will not take anything to get data for today. Get that and join the meeting.
Label values. Then I will YOS. Okay, sorry, LOS, not YOS. LOS. Then I will now use level, attach it to level and run it. So when you run this now, if you go back to your data now, you see that your data editor, you see this one now, LOS has become a categorical variable. So this is this is how you convert your variable to the numbers to the code. This is how you convert the variables to the code so that your software will recognize that 1 is male and 2 is female. 1 is year 1, 2 is this, 3 is year 3, 4 is year 4. You define the label here and attach the label to your variable LOS. So these are the two commands you use to do that. And when you do that, you see that you can now have your variables inside, and so your variable is now ready for analysis. This one here is these variables in black here is your numerical variable, numeric variable. While this one here is your numeric variable also. Then this one now is the categorical variable that you have converted them from numbers now to categorical variable. While the one in red is your string variable. String is recognized as word. So anytime you see a STATA labeling anything red here means that it's a string variable. Black is numerical.
Excuse me, sir.
And
hello, sir.
Yes.
We are right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Are you there?
Writing codes to convert the number information in their categorical format. For instance, if I made a survey, we know who are the females and who are the males. Now, we had them coded back into numbers because we use them in SPSS, and SPSS recognizes numbers alone. So is it making any sense struggling with writing codes when we are working with STATA, converting figures into male and female? Or is there a way we could just populate our data in the form of male and female, and then possibly even year of a study as gathered from the primary data and then analyze?
Yeah, I didn't really get what you said, but based on here now, if you want to bring your male and female direct, STATA cannot analyze string variable. Both STATA and the SPSS does not analyze string variable. That's why this one is red. It's not going to analyze this student column here. This student's column here now will not be analyzable because it's string. It's just for labeling. So for you
so are we now saying that the STATA only recognizes data that has been written as a code for it? Because if it's actually reading, if it's actually reading letters as male, female, year 1, year 4, I should expect it to be able to read student 1, student 2 through.
What I mean is that please listen. What I mean is that I told you that it's only numeric or string variable. STATA only analyze string variables. One, as numerical, STATA only analyze numerical variables. numerical numbers here, numbers. So it recognizes numbers even in SPSS. So you put your data as numbers. So you only use this label defining to tell STATA that this one is male and
A string.
yes. You now label. That's why this one now is blue in color and the other one here is red. It cannot analyze this one.
Oh, I am also making an observation here again. In our year one, our year and one are not separated. They are written as one. Does that make it a string different from student one with a
So
space
now
in
this one is
between?
one you converted now. No, don't.
I understand.
This one is once you converted. It doesn't change anything. So for this one,
I'm asking this question here because I would want to know whether, as a rule, even if you are doing your conversion or you're writing your code, if we say, what was that code we wrote that time? Is it convert value or what? I
yes,
can't remember.
define.
Define. If we are writing, define maybe year
Label
or
value.
label value as year one. Are we expected to write year space one,
No.
or they are written together?
It must be written together.
Because we need to know the rule.
It must be written together as one word.
Sorry, what I'm trying to understand on this, on the value, it means that SPSS recognize numbers in the place of value, while the STATA recognize string in the place of value.
Numbers, all of them, two of them recognize numbers. All these things are numbers. You convert numbers.
Yes, sir, because like this one now, we're having the STATA defined get more detailed than SPSS, because SPSS we only have the number. It's a 1 for female or male, 2 for female, but here is written male for 1 and female for 2 combined together.
In the SPSS, you can also toggle it between 1 and male if you want to do it like that. So far is in blue here now means that it was converted as a numeric number. That is what this code here has converted. When we uploaded this thing, it was numbers that are here. But you want to, now when you upload their numbers numeric, that is what the software, you now convert, tell them that your number 1 is male. That's just what happened here. It's different from when you put a string variable. If you upload male on its own, it will not accept it as analyzable column. You upload it as number and tell us that number, what, as you are seeing male here now, what STATA is seeing now is the one that was originally there. So you only use this code now to tell that 1 is this and 2 is this. So that's what it is. Now, and the next thing I want to explain to you is what I told you earlier on, that this is we have different numbers here. We have the label, okay. Sorry, the format here now, look at it. We have %10. If you click on this number now, if you click on this number here now, you see that is the name of the variable is money spent on a charge card, the label. The type here is an integer. This is an integer, and the format here now means that this is a numeric, a general numeric. This G here means that it's a general numeric, and it has 0 decimal places. That's why we don't have any point something. And it has it has what do you call itself? It has 10 character wide. It can contain up to 10 characters wide. That's what that 10 means there. In my example, I use 7. In my example, I use 7.2. 7.2 there means that the character width for that variable is 7 with 2 decimal places and a general numeric number. That's what this means. So this one now is general numeric number, 0 decimal places and 10 character wide. That's what this variable can contain. So that's what I mean by the format when I say format. So this is what you need to do first. You need to upload your data through Excel from the upload. Then if there is any of your variable that is categorical variable, you use this code here to define it so that STATA will know that your male is number 1 is male and 2 is female, and as the case may be. So we now have our variables ready here now for analysis. So we can go ahead and start doing our analysis from here. Now, the first thing we are going to do is to analyze our, okay, if I do, if I do summarize now, if I write summarize is going to give us the summary of our variables here. See the command I type here now, summarize. When I type summarize, it will summarize this observation. We have money spent on recharge card, so we have 40 observation, no missing variable. Then we also have our mean. So we have the mean of each of the variable. This one is 530. So the mean for each of the variables is 530. Then gender, the mean is this and this. So this is just a summary of your different data. So if I do my independent sample t-test, I'm going to say the command for independent t-test, the way we did is t-test money spent on recharge card, comma, by gender. T-test money spent on recharge card by gender. That means, you know, we are doing money spent on recharge card between the two gender, the gender male and female. So we want to see the output of our independent sample t-test. You use t-test money spent on recharge card, comma, by the categorical variable gender. So we are regressing gender over money spent on recharge card for independent sample t-test. So all you need to do is write t-test gender, comma, by t-test money spent on recharge card, comma, space, by gender in brackets. So when that happens, you are going to have this output here. So this is our output. We have for the group, the male and female, we have 19 male and 21 females with their mean here. The mean of the male is 563. 563 naira is the mean value of the amount spent on recharge card by male. And 500 naira is the mean amount of recharge card spent by the women, the females, with a standard deviation of this and this. Then this is their combined mean here, 530, and then their mean difference. The mean difference is 63 naira. The mean difference is 63 naira. So what we will now try to find out is the 63 naira a significant difference? So our null hypothesis stated that there is no significant difference between the money spent on a recharge card between the male and the female. So from here, you see that the mean of the male is 563 naira, and making it a mean difference of 63 naira. So we will now go to our p-value, which is this particular one here. Our p-value here, our p-value is 0.5152. If you remember when we did it in SPSS, we also got the same p-value there, 0.5152. So from this p-value now, since our p-value is greater than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the recharge card expenses of the male and that of the female. So we have been able to come to realize that So we have come to realize that our output here is showing us that the mean of the two, the mean difference here is 63 naira, which, looking at the p-value, is not a significant difference. So we accept the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between this and this. Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Well done. So my question is, at what point do we use the STATA in place of SPSS? Because all this thing we're doing here is exactly what, as if I may say so, what we did at using SPSS.
Yes.
At what point do one start to fall back on STATA instead of SPSS?
Okay. There is no really a division point. It's just a choice. It's just a choice of the software to use. Any of them can serve the same purpose. If you know how to use STATA, you use STATA for your work. So far you know that STATA is going to do what you want to do, you can decide to use STATA. There is no, at least for this this basic analytical techniques, if you know that STATA can do it, SPSS can do it, you decide on. But here there are if you go higher in the some advanced topics, you discover that there are some topics, some advanced analytics that we have in STATA that you may not find in SPSS. But at this level of analysis, you can decide to use any one you like and do your work. But only that most of the time, because of the fact that STATA is not so prevalent in this our area, so when you use STATA, it may add like it may be like add some pepper up to your work. That is just it. It's not as if it's any big deal about it. So, but you can just decide on the one that you are convenient with and be able to use. So another thing, this important thing is knowing all these things to help you to have variety in your publication. If you want to publish your work, you can decide. Some people can decide to use STATA on this work and use SPSS on another one. So far, the software can do all you want to do. You can just decide to use it. So for us to do the next the next hypothesis now, the next hypothesis is going to be between what's it called? The next hypothesis is going to be between level of study and time spent on making call. And you know that this categorical variable here is more than 2 groups. So there are 4 groups here of this categorical variable. So we cannot use independent ttest. So we are now going to deploy ANOVA to run the second hypothesis, which is there is no significant difference in the time spent on making call between the levels of the students. So when that is the hypothesis, you see that you are going to deploy ANOVA here because your categorical variable is more than 2 groups. So in that case, you simply deploy ANOVA by writing ANOVA this is the command here, ANOVA 𝐶𝑠 OMC, then level of study, ANOVA time spent on making call space level of study. When you run this now, when you run this command, you are going to see your ANOVA output. So this output here, you can easily cut this in here and put in your SPSS, put in your Microsoft Word, and do your. So here now we are going to look at our output here. So we have this. Our p-value here. Where is it? Okay? Our p-value here is 0. Where is it? Okay. So our p-value here is 0.71 watts. 0.7161. That's our p-value. 0.7161. So from here too, we are going to reject our, or we're going to accept our null hypothesis that there is no significant difference in the time spent on making calls between the students.